So starting from the tips and the trends, that was a great way to get the segment started for us. But you got to look at her pieces because it will strive your imagination and keep you thinking about different things. And speaking about imagination and beautiful sets and designs and planning, I'd like to bring in Ingrid. Hey,
how are you?
Good, nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
So Ingrid and I have known each other a long time, and we have to give a shout out to her husband because he's
Yeah.
home alone, and I'm with your wife right now. No,
For
I'm
the
kidding.
first time.
For the first time with baby Enzo, who, if you're on social media, this is one of the handsomest kids out there, and yes,
Wow.
he looks like both his parents. So
Oh, thank
he
you
is
so
a
much.
very good, very handsome guy. Oh, we're gonna bring you over just a little bit there. So Ingrid has done events all over the world. I mean, you've been all
Yeah.
over the place. So I want to kind of have her give a little bit of her background on the company and the experiences and things she's had, and then we'll kind of segue into the tips and trends. But tell us about the things that you've done and some of the environments that you've been in.
All right, so the event is it's an experiential event planning and design company. So we work nationally and we also travel with our clients international. We're fortunate to have done events all over the world and we have enjoyed several types of venues, from private residences that are
Out of this
amazing
world.
out of this world to like open fields where we have to come in with a tent and make it amazing. We've done pretty cool, interesting things. Very small weddings of like 50 guests that are super detailed, to grand affairs of 1,200 people that are like massive. We work with our clients on helping them design overall experiences, so we get involved in everything that has to do not only with the aesthetics. We obviously get involved with the design of the event, but we also help them select the right vendors to create a complete experience. So we get involved in the menu selection, in the venue selection. We help them choose their entertainment. We help them with protocol. We try to get involved in the overall guest experience.
So it's a one-stop shop.
Absolutely. Well, we don't do everything in-house. We work with our partners all over the world. That's what really allows us to produce quality events
Right.
wherever we go. We work hard on maintaining our industry relationships.
Absolutely.
ILEA, it's one of our
That's right.
our best sources for that. And through that, we're able to offer our clients quality wherever we go.
So where, from a destination perspective, and that comes up a lot, this past year I think I attended 2 destination weddings. I got another 2 next year. It seems to be, I hate to keep using that word trend, but it seems to be a growing movement, I guess, of people that are trying to do more destination style weddings. Can you talk to us about some of the destinations that you've been to? Like, I mean, I know that I see, if you go on social media, you feel like Evan and Jordan, they're always somewhere tropical, which makes me jealous like you would believe. but it seems like you guys have done a lot of that. Are there certain destinations that you encourage people to look at, or that are not so good to go to because they're harder to work with the regulations, that kind of thing?
Well, definitely destination is a trend, just because you see couples nowadays wanting to give more of an experience to their guests.
Right.
So they want to do a series of events rather than just a one night thing. So destinations are a trend right now. Smaller weddings where they just pick the closest friends and fly them places, and we do a series of events throughout an entire weekend. Destination wise, I think definitely places where you kind of like I don't want to make it sound negative, but where you can like trap your guests are the best options. We work in large cities. I mean, we do ton of weddings in Miami. That's where the company was born, so we work pretty often there.
Right.
But smaller locations kind of allow you to keep your guests more in control. You know, like you don't want to recreate the hangover and have your bridal party kind of go
disappearing
rogue.
and you can't find your guests. That's not a good thing.
That's not a good thing.
It's funny to watch on TV, but it's not a good thing to have happen to.
Yeah. So we generally recommend places that are secluded, that will give your guests a unique experience, like, you know, like smaller towns. Like, obviously we're based in Newport now, so we always encourage people to come to Newport. It's a great location where you can give your guests a series of experiences. You can take them out on a boat, and then you can go to and do a very detailed, personalized dinner for your guests, and then you can do a grand wedding at one of the mansions. places like that are locations that we highly encourage our clients to go to.
No, it's a good point. I probably wouldn't have thought about the importance of keeping your guests kind of in that word of contained, so that you know where they are, you can get them to where they need to be. Nobody's missing the transportation or any of those other things to get to the environments that you're hosting them at. So you've seen a lot, and you've done a lot of different styles of weddings. I mean, going from Miami to Newport, tropical, whether it's Bermuda or traveling, you've seen a lot of different styles and trends that are out there. Are there specific things you would advise a bride and groom to look at when they're first starting? So, I mean, we were just talking about how everybody has a fairy tale side of things or a color that comes up or whatever, but when you're first sitting down and someone's come to you, I gotta imagine half the people, or maybe half the people, really know what they want, and the other half are looking or fishing for ideas and thoughts on where to go. What's your advice when you're dealing with something like that?
Well, my first advice to brides is usually, even if your budget doesn't allow you to have a full planning service, take a couple $100 and sit for 2 hours with an event consultant.
Right.
Come with your ideas, with your thoughts, sit with them, and kind of have them give you a plan, a roadmap. I think that's very important because that's going to guarantee that you are going to extend your budget to the best of its capacity.
Right.
In terms of style, keep it real, keep it to you. Don't necessarily focus on what you see on the magazines or on websites or things like that. Normally when we do our initial consultation with our clients, we tell them to come in their favorite outfit. We talk to them about their favorite restaurant, their favorite destination for traveling, the places that they usually go out with their friends and things like that. So we identify the style of the couple, so we can reflect that in the event. We very frequently sit with brides that tell us, okay, I really want a very romantic wedding that has, I don't know, they describe it in very specific words. And then when we start discussing the things that they like, and we start looking at the pictures that they have and the places that they're most frequently at, it's a completely opposite direction.
Right.
So they keep saying, no, but I want this and I want that. And I'm like, they send me the pictures for inspiration. And I go well, it seems like you really like this. And they're like, oh, you're right. I love that. I'm like,
But that's a fun tip, though. That's a real, again, not something I would have thought of because I let my wife handle that. But that's a fun tip, so to ask those questions or let them even think about those questions in advance when they come to you, because you're right. I can see that for myself. I would have described it one way, but my taste of what I actually do would have been a completely opposite way.
And a lot of brides focus on the trends and what they're seeing in magazines and things like that. And the reality is that that's someone else's wedding. So we sometimes tend to like, okay, so this is the trend, this is the trend. A lot of brides come and go, what's the latest thing? I'm like, well, the latest thing is actually people that are looking to make the event an experience that is memorable, that it's personal, that people really identify the couple when they walk into this experience.
Now, you mentioned before about the network of, the International Live Events Association. There's also the Rhode Island Wedding Group, and you're all over the country. So ILEA is all over the country from a resource perspective. So when she mentioned sitting down with a planner or talking to someone like herself that has this immense background and this immense network of people, it is an incredibly valuable tip. And I think all of my guests would confirm and agree with that, is that tap into those resources because it will make your life so much easier. Not just from a mental standpoint, but from a budget standpoint. There isn't anything that someone like Ingrid hasn't seen. I mean, there's stuff that I see that there are pictures out there and I'm like, oh my God, that's amazing. And then I look up the person that created it with you or the vendor that you partnered with, and it's someone that's in our network that's out there. So.
Absolutely, I think that's where the value for an event professional is. A lot of brides tend to look into, okay, so what certifications do you have, or what and that's, yes, that kind of validates the seriousness that a professional has in this business. But I think what's most important is to see how well connected that professional is, because that's where really the success of your event is at. Yeah. I mean, we could never do the events that we do if we did not keep the connections that we keep in our industry.
So one of my last guests is a caterer that would have come in today from the 401 Gourmet, who's he's relatively new, he's been getting into these things, he's out of Hope in Maine, and his style of his pictures are beautiful that I've seen. And the same that's come out from you is that it seems like there's a knack or a way that you're able to pull people's visions and thoughts and combine it so it even matches their food. I've seen table decor where all of a sudden in your photographs and the food pops out from with the way you design the table. So is that between linens and fabrics and floral, and you combine all those resources? What's something you would advise someone, because they're going to see a picture of what you've done, they're going to be like, okay, that's me, or I love that, or do I change my menu to make that happen? So how do we pull that part together?
Well, I think the important factor there is to see your wedding as a whole thing, rather than just like booking things in pieces and then trying to put them together. Kind of see the whole puzzle together and then go from there. When we book vendors, we bring them together. We don't work with the caterer that never talks to the lighting people, that never talks to the lineup. No, we once we select the vendors, we love to just say, hey, how about we go out for lunch or for a drink, and let's talk about this event. Let's put it together as a team. When you do that, great ideas start coming up. So the caterers have a tendency to step away from their standard menus and say like, hey, let's create this really cool food station that merges with this and that. And then the linen company says, you know what, we have these great fabrics that are coming in, and we play with the flowers, and so we try to like bring this to life as a team rather than trying to match puzzle pieces that don't go together.
Exactly. No, that makes sense. So in coming into the next year, and a lot of people that are getting engaged now, there'll be some that'll book in short term in 2018, some that'll book in 2019. Are there hot topics or thoughts that people should be considering? I mean, you've given great tips on what to think about when they're sitting down with you and stuff like that, but are there new things that are out there? It seems like every season of the bridal thing, whether it's a color or a style, or we talked about destinations, but have you seen something that seems to be the wave of going into 2018?
Well, I definitely see couples going more, getting more selective about their guest lists. Like the 800 people weddings are kind of like fading in our world, at least. I think it's important. Like, I think that's where the whole success of a wedding begins. You can't create a great experience if you don't have great people. So we're seeing that a lot. We're seeing brides also kind of stepping away from the traditional romantic wedding and being more edgy, doing things that are more like focused on like they kind of bring like interior design into their weddings, and they make it more trendy, more modern, more fashionable. They're also trying to create better like social experiences. So rather than standing by the protocol of a standard wedding, they're saying, you know what? No, we're not gonna do a sit-down wedding. We're gonna do a really cool cocktail party where we cater to lots of people's tastes, and we have different type of foods coming throughout the night. We bring different types of entertainment. We do lighting transitions. It's more of a production rather than just a specific 15 table, 15 tall arrangements, sit down, 3 course type of thing.
No, that's why I wanted Ingrid here. She's got all these great feedback and these thoughts and ideas, and it's funny because now that I think about people that are doing it, I kind of did in the beginnings, that I made mine a giant reception. There was no assigned tables even when I had it. It's like you came and you sat where you wanted to sit, but we kept it as a flowing, moving, people not just being separated from other people, talking to everybody.
Guests appreciate that, and I think most of the weddings that we do in that format are the ones that we get the best feedback from, because guests don't like sitting next to the same person. Like they feel like they're trapped. They're like, okay, when is this dinner gonna be over?
That's true.
So I can get up and talk to my friend that is in table 12 and I'm in table 19.
That's so true.
So people like that. People like to be allowed to just like pace their event at their own rhythm, to do things that they want to do, drink when they want to drink, eat when they want to eat, and talk to the people that they want to talk to.
No, and it's funny, and it comes back to, this will all make sense when you sit down with someone like you, because you would have thought of it, but your brain is in 20 different places when you're in these planning stages. So again, none of this is meant to stress out all of our people that are about to become engaged. It's meant to make your lives easier. So you got to talk to people like Ingrid and the other guests that I'm having here today to help make that happen for you. So you provided, not that I'm surprised anyway, you provided some amazing tips. So thank you so much for joining me today. Congratulations on baby Enzo again.
Thank you so much.
Evan and Jordan, hello. Miss you guys. Merry Christmas to everybody.
I hope baby Enzo is taking a nap right now.
She wants to see him asleep when he gets home. Have a nice Christmas, son. Thank you.